Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakha Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Thamayim in Atlanta, and this past weekend at camp, brother Anah was going into the scattering of Israel and how we're going to come out looking like every nation under heaven. And so I just wanted to go into that a little bit. And we'll start out here at James 1:1. It says, James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. And right here it's showing that the 12 tribes were indeed scattered abroad, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And to even say this in James 1:1 is showing that that had already happened at this point. There's more scattering that came after this was written, and there's a lot that was before this was written, but it's showing that we were indeed scattered. And that's why he had to even say this. And it was all 12 tribes, all scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. We'll go into some prophecy on it just to back this point up. So this is Numbers 24:7, and this is when Balak called Balaam to curse Israel, and Balaam went into a trance, and the Lord opened his eyes to end time prophecy. So this is verse 7 of Numbers 24, and it says, He shall pour the water out of his buckets, and his seed shall be in many waters. The seed comes from the man, and in this case from anyone that comes from Jacob, any man that comes from Jacob. And these waters are speaking of the different people, the different nations. And so Jacob has mixed his seed with the other nations, with the women of the other nations. And with that right there, you're going to find Israelites that don't look like your stereotypical Israelite. They're going to look like the different nations. So there's going to be Asian looking Israelites. There's going to be Israelites that look Caucasian, or like the Edomites. You're going to have Israelites that look closer to Hamites or to the Africans. You're going to have Israelites that look like Elamites. You're going to have them looking like South Pacific Asians. You're going to have us, we're going to look like every nation under the heaven. Shoot, there's even going to be Israelites that resemble small hatters, because we were scattered into all the different nations and then grew up with those, with the ways of these different nations. So taking on the different religions and the different parts of their cultures, which would make us Gentiles, an actual bloodline Israelite taking on the customs of the other nations. You're just going to be a Gentile, and that's why we're referred to as Gentiles within the New Testament, at least where you see any blessing going to a Gentile. That's showing that it's actually an Israelite, because there are multiple Gentiles. There's the natural born Gentiles, the heathen, and then there are Israelites that have taken on the customs and ways of these heathen, and thus are called Gentiles. It says, He shall pour the water out of his buckets, and his seed shall be in many waters. And his king shall be higher than Agag, and his kingdom shall be exalted. And this is speaking to Jacob, whose name was later changed to Israel. and the kingdom of Yahushua and the kingdom of the Israelites that is coming is going to be the highest and best kingdom of all time. And just to drive this point home, we're going to go to Deuteronomy 28 and 64. Oops. Because this is all a part, the scattering is a large part of the curses. So in Deuteronomy 28, from 1 to verse 15, I believe, it's giving you all of the blessings that come with keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, with keeping that first covenant with the Lord. But from 15 on down, or 16 on down, it's showing all of the curses that will come upon the Israelites if they couldn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments and keep that first covenant going. And I should say we were not able to get it, able to keep it, and so that's why to this day we are cursed. We're under curses, and these curses fell at different times, but nonetheless we're in a cursed state right now. We're not at the top, we're at the bottom. We are the tail of everything. And one of the curses in particular is Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And it says, "And the Lord Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people." And so that's why you get in James 1 and 1, "To the 12 tribes scattered abroad, greeting. From the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods," because there we're growing up in these other customs among these other people, and we're taking on their customs and their ways and serving their gods and practicing their religions and really thinking that we were part of them. But in the end time, it's prophesied that the Israelites would awaken and return to their true power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. And it says, "And the Lord Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other," so the four corners of the earth. "And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." Just showing we were going to be scattered. We were going to be serving the gods of the heathen. And then this is Jeremiah 12 and 9. Just showing that with this scattering, we're going to be coming out looking in different ways. It's pretty simple, but as long as your father goes back to the line of Jacob and through the 12 tribes, then you are indeed an Israelite, no matter what you look like. It says the Spirit bears witness. So it's Jeremiah 12 and 9. "Mine heritage," and who is the Lord's heritage? His portion is Israel, the nation of Israel. That's the only nation that he's known under the heavens. It says, "Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird." So showing all the different ways we're going to look, all the different colors we're going to come in, because this isn't a racial thing as far as how modern day races are based by colors. This is a bloodline thing. And in Numbers 1 and 18, it tells you that that's how the nations are formed, through the father. They seated themselves by the houses of their fathers. And so you could have a mother that looks in a different way, but your nation is still going to go back to your father's line. It says, "The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field." Beasts of the field are the other nations. "Come to devour," because the Lord turned his back on us, and the other nations devoured us and kept us at the bottom of society and used us to help build up their societies. But everything is about to turn around because the Lord is coming to retrieve his heritage, to retrieve Israel from the four corners of the earth. So this is Isaiah 11. We're going to start out at 10. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse. And in Revelation, Yahushua says he's the root and seed of Jesse, which Jesse was the father of David. And Yahushua, the Messiah, the Son of the Most High, comes through that line of David, through Jesse. It says, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. An ensign is like a standard or banner, a rallying point for the people to look towards. It says, to it shall the Gentiles seek. And these are not your natural Gentiles, the ones who, this is speaking to Israelite foreigners. This is speaking to Israelites that were once in a Gentile state of mind. It says, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. So the first time he did this was during Exodus in Egypt, where he rescued us, took us out of Egypt, out of the hard bondage in which we were serving. But he's going to do it again in this modern day Egypt. It says, I want to say it's in Jeremiah, it says, and then no more will they speak of the Lord saving his people from Egypt, but they'll speak of him saving us from the land of the north. And kind of butchered that, but for the most part, hopefully you can get it. It says, for the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And so that's just showing the spectrum, which is a large spectrum of different places where the Lord will be recovering his people, his heritage. And it says, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. And so that's just showing he's going to gather us, and the gathering already happening with this word and this truth going out from the elders of Great Millstone on down. This is going out, and the dry bones are awakening, and we're going to have people that look like all the nations under heaven. And so if you can hear this message and it jives with you, you are most likely an Israelite, because the Spirit bears witness. It's not a colored thing. It is a spirit thing. It's a seed line thing. It's an actual nation thing within the biblical sense of a nation, which is through the seed of the men. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham, or Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.